Or
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your guy, Snowbike Mike, welcoming you back to another Kinda Funny Games afternoon stream. It's Thursday, y'all, which means I'm teaming up with the dopest, the freshest, the young king, Mr. Blessing Adeoye Jr., to have some fun playing some games with all of you. And Blessing, it's a special day. Of course, it's St. Patty's Day. People are wearing green, having a good time, but that doesn't matter to me because you know what's so special is you and I get to play Shredders together. And we've brought along some friends. It's the developers of Shredders themselves from Foam Punch Studios. So let's get into all of that. Blessing, how are you today, homie?
Mike, I'm doing great. I'm very excited about this. I know me and you mostly have been the one that has been super excited about Shredders because, of course, like you're the one who's been shredding the gnar in real life, right? But like we've been talking about how much we miss games like this. We love the extreme sports games, and so to see Shredders come through, I'm very happy for it to come out, and especially be on Game Pass where people can come in and just play as they want.
Yep. Bless it. It is a very special day today because Shredders is now out, and it's a cool one. You and I being at Kinda Funny, we get to meet awesome and incredible, talented people all around the globe. And I knew I had to use my opportunity to meet the dev team over from this studio and say, yo, let's shred together. Let's talk about it. So joining us today, the whole team will say hello, but we have Dirk and Marcus over there at Foam Punch Studios. Dirk and Marcus, how are you both doing today?
Great and tired, I would say.
great and tired is the perfect, that's the perfect sentence.
That is the perfect sentence. Well, let's first start off with, hey guys, congratulations to you and the whole team on the release of your game. A really awesome moment, I'm sure, for all of you over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Let's start off with the fun stuff. How y'all feeling? I know you're tired and exhausted, but like, is everybody happy and excited that the game's finally out or what?
Yeah. It's been awesome seeing the community loving it, and I think that's the reason why we made this game. It's just like getting extreme sport games lovers and people loving snowboarding games and loving like old like amped games and some stuff from SSX and skate stuff, and we put it all together in something that we thought that was going to be received well for the community, and just seeing that fact, like seeing the community loving it, that's just awesome. That's the reason why we made this game.
Was that like daunting? Because I know you mentioned SSX, you mentioned skate, right? And I think that's the thing that gets both me and Mike excited, right? We both love SSX, we both love skate, and like when I look at those are games that are made by big developers, right? Those are games that are published by huge publishers, and you guys are coming through as an indie studio, making it happen yourselves. Was that like a task where you guys were like, oh man, let's see if we can tackle this? You know, was it daunting in that way?
Yeah, well, no. I mean, they had some, like, the core, like, great mechanics. That was the focus for us. And they had that, so it's sort of a combination between the both in some ways. There's a lot of skate, and there was this SSX game that had this great wind-up mechanic. So, yeah, that was the, like, sort of core thought, like mechanics important in an action sports game. So
and daunting, like when you mean like it's a big team, like we weren't super scared, but we're still like 15 people worked on this and 10 people full time, so it's not a small team anymore. But still, if you're making snowboard game, there's only like a basic kind of rules, like you have to make sure the animations are right and the physics, and that's obviously super important. And then you just have to have a nice environment and snow shader, because that's all you'll see. And you have to have nice trees, and then like all the rest will come. But yeah, it's been a big race, and yeah, we think we're very proud of what we brought in the end. So
I can say you guys definitely nailed it with the snow shaders, because the game, I love how the snow looks, right? Like that's my favorite thing when jumping into either SSX or like I remember back in the day there was a new Shaun White snowboarding game that was announced, and the thing that always struck me was going to a friend's house because my friend had that game, and it being wintertime because I lived in Illinois and there was snow outside, and so like playing that game was kind of like our comfort food of like, oh yeah, we get to play this game while it be snowing outside and like have that fun that way. I guess my other question for you is in terms of vision for the game, right? Like, you know, again, we're talking about games that can be sim or that can be arcade, right? And that can have different feels depending on what you're going for. For you guys, what was the inspiration in terms of the vision of Shredders? Because as I'm playing it, it seems like it's more sim style, right? But like for snowboarding games, I don't think that is too, at least common for the games that I've played. Was that the focus? Did you guys want to make something that felt realistic?
Both, I would say. Like, yeah, it's because I made a more sim sort of snowboard game before, which is sort of the base that we started from, and yeah, the whole story we haven't told it, but yeah, Dirk found that, and he's a really enthusiastic snowboarder, I would say. So he flew to Sweden and came and see me and said, we talked a lot about what kind of snowboard game we wanted to create, and yeah, it's sort of it's a little bit of arcade, but a lot of sim as well, I would say.
I think, yeah, the balance is the most important aspect, and we both agreed that skates was kind of the perfect balance for skateboarding games. Like when people were working on, like when the devs were working on skates, one of the most obvious questions that journalists would ask was like, "Why are you making another skate game? There's already Tony Hawk." And we got the same question. I was like, yeah, once Skate was out, everyone was like, of course Skate. Like, yeah, and 180 felt awesome. A kickflip felt awesome. You didn't have to do like a triple rodeo, and they still felt awesome, the triple rodeos, if you could pull them off. And I think we have a similar vision of like, okay, let's make a game that's easy to grasp. Like the basics should be very doable, and there should be a story and should be a world that's engaging. But we still would have like most of the realism in there, especially when it comes down to like movement, and you would feel like you're actually snowboarding.
Yeah, but also like real snowboarders today, they're even crazier than video games. So it's like always simulation sort of. But yeah, we didn't want it to be too hard, but it still have the sort of depth of a, maybe not a simulation, but yeah, you can have fun for a pretty long time just with the mechanics as well. So we wanted to find a good balance.
I also always loved M2 as like a video game, and M1 even like when I had my first Xbox, M2 was one of the first games I played, and that was kind of a test in how can you go like simulation-ish and still have an arcade game. And I was kind of like, I always wanted to make like a new version of that, I guess. And that's why Furniture, I made numerous prototypes of snowboarding games. He made like the snowboard game, which was a great, like the animations of that game were already like, there was a spark in there. And I was like, let's do something together. And with a bigger team, let's try to make something that people will love, that are enjoying extreme sport games and snowboarding. And that happened.
Yeah.
That was awesome. 3 years ago.
Yeah, that definitely happened. Y'all nailed that. And I'm smiling so much listening to all this because that's how it feels and that's how it plays. I guess let's talk about the story, because one thing that I really love is y'all getting down with the snowboard culture, of course, bringing in pros and real brands. So like, where did you come up with the idea to call up pros like Jamie Anderson and the Gimbal God? Like, how did that go? And of course, working with them, what was that experience like?
The funny thing was like, it's all like, we just wanted to have a pro that would play the game. We wanted to have like some kind of feedback. Like we snowboard, but we're not doing double corks. But we still wanted to get like someone who was like high up in the scene doing snowboarding movies. And luckily in Belgium we have Seba the Book, who's like he's snowboarding in a lot of movies. And I was like, hey, we made a snowboard game. Can you pass by if you're in Belgium and not in the mountains shredding? He was like, yeah, sure. So he actually came by the office. He played the game and he asked like, can I be in it? And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, sure, but if you're in it, like we will need more pros. And he was like, yeah, no worries. I know all those people.
All of them.
That's awesome.
So we made a list of people that we love seeing snowboarding, like from movies, and each with their own different styles, and people that we think like set the specific bar for specific like playgrounds even, or high mountain or industrial areas. And almost every single one said, yeah, after we show the footage, of course, because for them as well, they're like big pros, it's not small names, and they supported us. They saw that we had passion for this, that we knew snowboarding, and yeah, it's super awesome that they just believed in us. It's so awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's great to see. I think it really adds to the character and the fun to see some of your favorite pros show up and teach you the game. I think you guys did a great job at onboarding new boarders and riders, right? Of like, hey, this is the mechanics, this is how you do it. And it's fun to see the names with it. What's it like bringing on different brands though? Like you have Burton here, you have DC. Like, was that difficult to get all these like awesome snowboard brands to jump in and allow you to put their stuff in the game?
It was a side effect of the pros. I think if we would have like out of nowhere written to Burton like we would love to put boards in there, there would have been no reaction. But if a pro boarder when Burton snowboard, like Zapao asks, like, yeah, this is a cool game. Can we put your snowboard in there? Then yeah, it's a different story, of course. And that's how like all the brands involved in this game is actually just all the sponsors of those pros that we like. So yeah, kind of
Wow.
feels natural in that way.
Yeah, it's cool that it goes hand in hand. I guess I never would have thought that, but yeah, that's the truth, right? You got the borders, and of course the companies will follow. That's really cool to think about. And you got some great stuff, I guess. Barrett, I don't know who we're showing, but we'll show off my guy right now and get to just show some of the brands. Because I mean, if you've been skiing or riding before, you're gonna know all these brands. These are just name brands gears right now, right? We'll go over to goggles. You have the Smith goggles here. You have Dragon. You have all the gear like electric that we know and
You got
love.
North Face.
Yeah, North Face is in here, of course. But I mean, my favorite is just going through and seeing some of the stuff that I've bought over the years of snowboarding and riding in here. Like 32 is in here. I mean, you guys got everything that I could have asked for, which I really, really love.
Well, that's nice to hear.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know how we brought them in? So we actually have a scanning booth here outside. So we made this whole wide area where we could scanning stuff. So we bought a scanner as well, and then all the brands were sending in their gear, but the problem is like it's seasonal, and they needed to send it like last year, so they were sending almost like sometimes it was prototypes of like the gear they were going to wear. And then we needed it physically because we had like these mannequins, and we dressed them, and then we scanned them in, and yeah, it was a whole process.
That's super rad. Okay. And now I guess my question is what's your favorite gear in the game? I mean, what do you guys ride back home? What do you love putting on your rider?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I kind of switch between different brands. I rode a Burton Hero for a long time, and I have a Jones, I have a Nitro. Yeah, it's a bunch of brands actually. Just whatever, like at that moment feels like something new I want to test. Like I've had camber birds. I have like, it's all kind of, like if there's some new technology, or a rocker board that comes out with like tips that are different. I just like to try it. And now we have a wall full of boards we can try out.
Now you have them ready to go. Yeah, I like that. No, it made me smile because I've had the DC board. And like you said, I've switched over to Capita before. I've rode K2, which is really awesome to see. And then even going more in depth with the bindings. I mean, you have the Union bindings that I absolutely love. I love that brand. And you have everything that a boarder and skier, any sort of rider could ask for with all the stuff that you got. Even GoPros in here. I can strap a GoPro to my head, which is wild. What a nice touch right there with the GoPro. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Does it record? Does it work like a GoPro?
You mean first person view?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1.1. It's been asked before, by the way, and I've actually we've done some tests with it, so I have footage with it. So it's really hard to ride because the character itself it's constantly moving. But yeah, if you use it right, and especially for replays, it could work. So it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that awesome feature. I mean, we talk about the features in the game. This replay feature is super rad. I mean, who thought of that idea to give me the full-on like? Here's the follow cam footage. You can do whatever you want. You can chop and change it up however you like.
Yeah, we have the replay guy.
Hey, replay guy, you rock, dude. Great job.
He did more than that. He worked on snowboarding physics as well together with Marcus. He worked on a whole, like, I think most of the devs worked on a whole broad range of things. Yeah, rails. And so, but yeah, Arthur implemented almost all the like the specific like the key points and the way how it eases out stuff, because that's kind of the most tricky point, I guess, getting the camera looking right.
Make it look natural.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, but it paid off.
Hey, congratulations! It did pay off. It's an awesome feature.
Yeah, it's really fun to look at your own ride and admire yourself, right?
And it all started just as an internal proof to make the trailer and everything, and it just became a feature and a core part of the game now.
It's also a community requested feature. Heavily.
So cool. Or Discord, the stuff they're making, it's insane.
What's that like with the community? I mean, I'm sure they're asking you for everything under the sun, but what were some of the key features like this replay feature? Like, what were some of the things that the community was asking for?
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was a big one, and
Yeah.
and even more than this. So we have some hidden features actually here, and I'm not sure if it's going to work. But can you go to the replay editor?
Go to the
Quickly?
replay editor. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's not going to be shown, or yeah, let's maybe edit. Yeah, and just pause at some point, and if fly to the character, and if you press LB and your D-pad, does something happen? LB, so the left shoulder button.
I'm in his eyeballs right now. Is that what's
RB?
happening?
That's RB. So that's
RB.
field of
Okay.
view.
Okay.
This will be a custom. Like this will be something that will change in the future. And if you now press the other one,
Yeah.
so LB, and then change the D-pad as well.
Nothing's happening for me.
Yeah, it's happening. You can just zoom out a bit. So RB and zoom and use D-pad to zoom out again.
Okay.
Yeah, and now LB and the D-pad. You'll see, and keep on pressing it.
Oh, the time of day is changing.
You can change the position of the sun, so you can
Yeah.
rotate.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's super rad. Okay.
So you can go back. Yeah, you can back until you see the sun. Keep on rotating until you see the sun. Yeah, and then and then you can actually press down as well. So you can, like, if you go to the horizon, like place it a bit more to the left, like in the valley or something.
Yeah,
you can actually make it like almost dawn if you want to.
That's cool. Oh man. No, you got that's
super
an
awesome.
awesome one right there. Okay.
Yeah, if you rotate your camera and you look at the valley and you put the sun there, you'll see like really cool, and put the sun there, like D-pad left, a bit more to the left so you can see the sun. Yeah, a bit more. Yeah, and then you go down, D-pad down. Yeah, even more. And you just put the sun almost like in sunset, and you'll see the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow.
You can do like night shots or like dawn shots, and yeah.
Okay, I think my
That's dope as hell.
screenshots and replays are about to be elevated now. Is right. Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Heck
that's actually
yeah.
that's small stuff that we're planning to add in the future. Yeah, this is a game that we'll continue working on it for sure because it's on Game Pass. We know a lot of people just try it out and play it. So yeah, secret features, and these will be probably also recorded in the timeline so you can play with those. Yeah.
Super cool. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that one with me. I will make sure to keep that in my back pocket as I play through that. That's cool as can be.
That's
Oh
dope
my
as hell.
gosh. All right, well, man, and then I want to stick on features really quick because there's another thing that I love, which is calling in your Snomo, right? You get to call in the Snomo and get dragged around the mountain, which is absolutely awesome. And then you also have the wenches inside of like the towns and the industrial areas. Like, who thought of that idea to add in? Because that's a killer feature for snowboarding and like the snowboard culture.
Yeah, thinking about the idea, that's not super difficult. It's the execution that needs to be completely right. And I think we nailed it with the execution.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like we were thinking like, okay, we need to control the snowboarder and the ski-doo at the same time. We also want it as easy as possible. So there were different iterations with different levels of freedom, but this one, yeah, it just hit the spot. And
Oh, like,
also,
how did you
everyone-
unlock this? Because I want to do this. This sounds awesome.
You will unlock it a little bit into the story mode, Bless.
man.
So as you're playing the missions, learning the game, you will unlock it.
Road to Elysium is the mission, I think, where you unlock it. Huh?
You
Perfect.
have a teaser and
Yeah.
beat the snowmobile, and then you unlock it well.
Yeah. They unlock it after a while, and it's not available like in every in like the city itself. It's not available because it doesn't make sense, and you have winches there. But yeah, in backcountry like Elysium, the Elysium backcountry is awesome to ride a snowmobile and just pull you to specific features. And there's even a mission specifically made for that.
And the wenches inside the town, I'll show off in a second, are so dope. I mean, it's just like every snowboard movie you see all before the winters of like people just getting after it. It's so cool to hit. I love that.
I'll introduce you to the guy who programmed it, Sebastien.
Yeah, man. Congratulations, dude. Thanks for that. It's awesome. That's an awesome feature.
Thank you. It was not my idea. I just made it.
Well, of course, this dirt
Very
was
point.
that difficult to make? Like, was it smooth or was it difficult to make for you?
No, it was a bit difficult because you want it to be fun to control. It's not about being realistic. It's about giving the speed to the player because the main purpose of this was to gain speed to take crazy jumps you can't take otherwise.
Yep.
So it was mostly that, gaining some control and having fun doing it.
I'm having fun doing it. I want you to know
Yeah,
that.
Mike
I'm having a
looks
great
like
time
he's having a
doing it.
blast right now.
My one question is it 1 sec? Let me take you there because I need you right now. We got to talk about the big Kings Park. Or in Kings Park, there's a smiley face here that I can't get. Am I supposed to whip the snowmobile into it? What's going on here, team?
Go 113 kilometers per hour.
To go 113 kilometers an hour.
To get this right here, that one.
Yeah,
Really?
You have to go really quick. You have to go really quick, and then you just have to take the vert there and land on the right side. I know the like.
113.
No. You have to take like the left one, like the,
Okay.
the quarter pipe.
The quarter pipe, yeah. At 113.
Yeah,
Oh
you have to
man,
go really quick, so you have to take the jump before it. But the trick is, if you press D-pad down, you put a spawn point. So at that specific speed, so you can already, like, if you reset back to the top of the park. Yeah, and then and just take a good hit above the king sign.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you have the right speed, you're just pressing D-pad down, and then you can retry all, like, constantly. Like, just land really well. All right, a bit down, D-pad down. Yeah, now just go for it.
Oh man, dude, I'm
Mike.
telling you.
Yeah.
That's my
After-
one right there. And so now, Blessing, I'll show you a secret. This is what I've been doing because I don't know how to get it. So I get up here, right? If I can do it still. Oh, 1 sec. I like getting up here and then I call my snowmobile guy. And then we
you're
do
trying to
something real
finagle it.
dumb up here. You know,
You're trying to pull
trying to
shenanigans.
tease it. I'm trying to tease it, y'all, just so you know.
All it needs to cool down.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm get up there and then I call the snowmobile guy. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. 113. I like that. I'll remember that is right.
You also have
That's
to
awesome.
nollie from it, so you get a bit higher. So you press forward, right stick, and then nollie. Yeah, some of these smileys are like almost puzzles.
That's wild. And so, of course, for everybody that doesn't know the smileys, what are the smileys? Because, of course, KindaFunny's logo is the smiley face, so it goes hand in hand with all of us. But what are the smileys? What do they unlock? What do they do?
It's like all the smileys, like you get smileys for missions, you get smileys for unlockables, and they just unlock gear. That's like the main thing about it.
And then I go up here, and then I just do one of these.
Yeah, random gear, of course. And the reason why we choose random gear is because we didn't want everyone to look the same on the slopes from
Nice.
the first day.
That's a good call.
actually
That's a really good call.
I didn't know that. That's really cool. That's awesome. I mean, since we're just going through all of it, let's keep going. Let's talk about the awesome locations because you've brought everything that a snowboarder and rider could want, right? We're talking about big parks. We're talking about groomers and just nice, easy runs. You got the backcountry full of pow. You have natural features. You also have like this industrial / like urban skiing area that I really love. Like, what were the ideas to make such a big open world like this with all this different terrain?
I think the snowboard movies that inspired us. Yeah, if you look at all those locations, yeah, it has.
Yeah, mostly that. Like, there are so many iconic places in snowboard movies, and yeah, we captured a lot of them, I think.
Yeah. So for example, like Kings, you know, there's like the Nines event. That's Kings is based on Nines event. We have like Scary Dairy. It's based on the Scary Cherry. It's a famous like competition slope style backcountry thing with wooden structures. For example, the city you're in, Petrov. We saw a couple of movies. Like especially also with Rene, that were mostly in industrial and like urban environments, and yeah, that's what's also captured. And we have Corvo, which was like a movie like made by Red Bull as the crows fly, and was kind of the similar thing. I wanted to capture it as well. Yeah, so it's all has something to do with something we saw. And Elysium, for example, the Beyond Metal guys, they are sometimes making these like crazy runs in backcountry. Wanted to capture that as well. So yeah, it's all based on what we saw and on events we are following.
It's wicked. It is so awesome to have this diversity in the game to go from the big parks and then all of a sudden just ripping down the streets in these urban locations. I absolutely love it. It feels like watching all the snowboarding movies we see each and every October and November before the season starts to get everybody amped up, which is awesome to see.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, thank you.
What was it like working with Xbox? I mean, you guys go on Xbox Game Pass. We always talk about these devs teaming up with Xbox and Game Pass. Like, what was that like for you guys? And how, of course, did it help the game? What were your thoughts?
We showed the very early version like 2 years ago, I think, to Xbox, and like they were they were into it, and maybe also because most of the Xbox guys we know are actually snowboarders. Like even Phil Spencer is he loves snowboarding. Guy Richards, who was our contact, loves snowboarding. He's a snowboarder himself. So we showed it. It was like, if I look at it now, it's pretty early that we showed it. But still, they believed in us. I worked with them before, but still, they believe in that something like this could work.
Yeah, and they wanted us to succeed. We could feel that.
Yeah, they wanted us to succeed. They really pushed us. They believed in us. And I think without them, it would have been really difficult to invest because it's a big project. Like it's for a small team with a limited budget, it's still a big project. And so having Game Pass, for example, made us like want to invest more in something because we knew a lot of people would be playing this. Yeah, that's it's only made the game better.
Yeah.
And also the legacy of Amped, of course. They made like one of the first titles on Xbox and made by Microsoft Studios was Amped Snowboarding.
Yeah, I think it's both of our favorite snowboard games of all time. So yeah.
Easy team up then. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, man. That's so cool. There's so many awesome spots. What is the best spot? What's your guys' favorite spots going all around the room? What's everybody's favorite spot in this game right now?
Canyon jump, so that's
here's Laurent. He's been producing the game. Let's get his favorite spot.
I think Canyon Jump is the first time we played together while developing the game, and we realized how much fun it was to play together. So it's one of those missions. I don't know if you've done it with
Yeah, it's Elysium. You spawn at peak or at observatory, it doesn't matter, and then you have to fly to a specific spot.
Let's go do it right now.
Do the mission.
We'll do it right now. Heck yeah. We got Scotty. I love Mini Scotty too. I mean, Scotty rocks. Scotty rocks.
You know the voice of
No
Scotty.
way, Chris.
Yeah.
Yo, Chris, you did great, dude.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Scotty.
Everybody's taking it. Sitting there.
Welcome back to SHRED again! Little Scotty! Yeah, I had so much fun with little Scotty. He was born out of desperation because I wanted to have more assets in the hand of the protagonist, Scotty. But the lazy devs just didn't have any assets for me to put in the hand. So I'm like, well, why don't I add Scotty in the hand of Scotty? And the cutscenes wrote themselves. Like it took me like 20 seconds to write those cutscenes because they were just so silly and so funny that I just pumped out like 5 cutscenes of just nonsense. And it's really funny seeing that actually liked by people because I thought it was too silly. I was so embarrassed to show it to Dirk that I almost didn't.
Actually, I watched it. I was like, yes, this is. I don't know. I'm not sure. And then I showed it to a friend of mine who's like a movie. He's a director for national television, and he was like, yeah, but yeah, no one's going to skip this. And I was like, okay.
No one's gonna skip that. I love it. All right, so we're here at the Big Canyon Jump. You're telling the story. This is the first time y'all got to play together. You were saying.
Well, yeah, so we just popped the drone and we were just looking at just like 7 or 8 of us just dropping down the canyon in drone mode, and that was just amazing. Of course, you can't do that while you're in the mission because online is turned off in missions. But if you go to that exact same spot in the private session that we're in, we can meet there. And actually, I'm gonna go there, and you guys can just D-pad to me.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's meet there right now. Let's hang out. Oh, I just got that triple smiley right there too. Heck yeah.
Nice. Let me just go to it. Spawns, and it's peak. Yeah. So I'm gonna go there, and I'll tell you guys when I'm there.
That's Chris right there. And then, of course, yes, you also have the drone feature as well, which is super rad. If y'all see this on your screen, you can drone around and have some fun with your friends, which is super cool.
So normally now, if you just spawn to me, oof, yep, that's it. So now we can see each other, and the idea is basically like, what we did is we just had like one guy filming and trying to follow like all the riders go at the same time, go over the canyon, and it just looked awesome.
Oh my gosh, what a cool idea.
Yeah. That's dope as hell.
Now, if Blessing hasn't unlocked this, can he spawn on us in multiplayer?
I don't think I can. I'm pressing. It says that you guys are in a locked region.
He will. Yeah, it will tell him that he's in a locked region indeed. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool as can be. And so you guys are just here taking hits with each other. That's fun as can be.
Yeah, we're trying to get the highest score and just be like bragging about each other's skills. It was amazing. Pretty cool.
That's a cool moment. Okay,
yeah, that's
good to
the
know.
The drone is really like a stalking mechanism. It's pretty good. You can yeah, and when you
can imagine the videos that people are going to capture on this. Right, like you can probably capture really cool, like, you know, YouTube videos that like of you guys like pulling tricks with friends and stuff.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
We're gonna do that all tonight, me and my friends. Now that I know about this, that's awesome.
So and there's another mission which is in the same zone, but it has way more jumps. I think it's called Get Natural, and that one gives you like the full shebang kind of like feeling about the zone, and it's really amazing. It just it's the idea is to just hit natural hits, and it takes you on this jump, but it takes you also further where Dirk's been having fun with like carving some amazing like natural jumps a bit further. So yeah, it's just a really nice zone to be in. It's really fun.
Yeah, this is one of those special ones that you see and you just go, man, this is awesome to be a part of right here.
Mike, I just want to let you know I cringed at that bail because that looked like it hurt.
It's massive, right into the canyon wall. You know it, man. It's right.
That's become one of my favorite things to do right now. Like, my favorite thing to do at the beginning of playing games like this is to just get a handle of the controls. And so I'm in that place now where I just keep bailing over and over again, but it's entertaining because like my bails are off the chain. Like my character's just falling flat every other second. It's great.
Yeah, I love the control. It's really, really great. It feels awesome, especially when you get into the powder sections and you really see that snow flying all around your rider. Is really, really cool. Yeah, me and this guy just absolutely sending it.
I want to talk about the control scheme a little bit because that's one of the things I'm really having fun trying to get a grapple with. Is like, you know, it's right trigger to jump. It is right bumper to activate your grabs. Right, you can do your turns and all this stuff. What was the guys' thought process behind putting together the control scheme?
Yeah, well, one of the basics is that trying to have a mental image of the body is one of the sticks, and the board is for the other one. And then with the bumpers, you have both of your hands. So like, because it's a bit weird for many people at first when they're doing the grabs that you're pushing the board stick in the wrong direction, but it's actually to angle your board in the proper position and then just putting your hand on the board. So it's like that sort of mental model for it. And yeah, and also for the physics and stuff, just having a sort of your momentum matched naturally to how you snowboard in real life. That's one of the main inspirations. And it's sort of like, yeah, you do your move and then now you're in the air. You don't have ultimate control. You have to have a good takeoff, and it turned out fun.
Yeah. People have to get used to it, obviously. It's a different kind of feeling, but once they get a hold of it, it gives you the liberty you never had with other games.
Yeah, like you feel like you can actually control how your board moves.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot of natural, like, I like how snowboarding looks, of course, like natural beauty of that sort of physics, and it's both. It feels good and it looks nice.
What about, let's talk about the music, because, you know, I know he's here in the building with all of y'all. I mean, the number one for skiing and snowboarding, you got to find the flow state. You got to turn on your iPod. You got to get all jazzed in. What was it like creating music? What was the pressure of getting a bunch of licensed music, but then that's a bunch of money, and then, like, of course, now you create your own soundtrack. What was that like to make the music like that?
Well, first of all, like I've worked in the music industry before, and it was a non-profit organization to support young and new talent. And I was like, yeah, we wanted original music because for streamers and stuff, it's super important that they can just stream with music. If you're using non-original, if you're using original music, like you have to mute it. And in our case, we want something that people could just enjoy and stream without any difficult right management and stuff like that. So we just try to find like a really good and talented artist, and we came to Hector, who was Jennifer, and he made like really awesome music. So we asked him like, would you want to work for Foam Punch and make like a cool soundtrack for a snowboarding game? And then, yeah, you can tell us how you felt.
When I got that question, I felt amazing.
That's awesome.
It's been a crazy 2 years of writing music for Foam Punch.
Wow.
One of the best experiences of my life, of course. And I'm really grateful for the chance they gave me. So yeah, it was awesome.
And you did an awesome job.
You did an awesome job, is right. Everybody so far has loved the beats while I've been playing, so that's great.
Yeah, I've been loving the music too. Like, how does finding the direction work with that? Is it you primarily figuring out, okay, this is what I want the sound of shredders to be. This is what the soundscape should be like, or is you going back and forth with the other devs, figuring out like what they want from you, or how does that come down?
I think we mostly give him gameplay stuff. At first, I was sending him gameplay footage.
Yeah.
And after that, he was just playing the game on like a small laptop by himself and trying to figure out music that would suit him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And the main thing is like they gave me total freedom, so I could do what I want, and the only important thing was make up tempo and down tempo tracks as well. And so yeah, then the soundtrack came to life, I guess.
I also gave him a couple of synthesizers from my studio because I don't have the time to work on music anymore. So I'm glad someone talented was working with my stuff.
That's so cool. The idea of, like you said, bringing on someone young and helping them grow and having an opportunity for them to do something epic. That's great to hear. What are some of your favorite music that you like to listen to without the game and all that? What are some of your inspirations that you like bringing into your music?
Something from I'm a heavy electronic fan, so I'm most into the bicep stuff, Fortet, Burial, all the more underground electronic music. That's my kind of go. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I switch up like for some like I love the soundtrack, but yeah, if you're playing it for 2 years in a row, I just sometimes put like Spotify and heavy metal on, and I do the Canyon.
A fun quote is on Discord, like after like debugging the game and playtesting for like a year and a half, like the devs were like actually telling themselves like, that's weird, it's the first time I work on a game that I haven't muted the music yet. So
wow.
we've been like actually like developing this game with the music on without even realizing, and it's been like we just realized that after like a year, and we said, oh, we're not bored of the music yet. That's crazy. So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's insane. Yeah,
you gotta love that. Blessing, you think you could bring some dope beats into a video game like this? I know you love making music too.
Oh man, I like to try. I like to try at least. I definitely wouldn't make anything that's on this level though. Like this is mad chill. It has good vibes, and again, like I think it helps. Mike, you use the phrase "set the tone" a lot, and I love that. Right? I think the music really does set the tone in this game, where I can just get lost in it and just keep going, and I'm not even noticing like the like music repeating or songs repeating or anything like that. It just does help me go with the flow, and so yeah, shout out to that.
Yeah, let's talk about what was the goal here? How many songs did you want to put on this? What was the goal of like length, knowing that people were going to play for X amount of time? What were you trying to aim for on track list and like amount of music you really wanted in here?
Full album, and that's what he did, and he's releasing it. So it'll be on Spotify. Yeah. It's just a full album, and I thought like if you have a full album with like like at least more than like at least 10 songs and something that's coherent. Yeah, that's enough for a video game, and it gives a specific atmosphere. And yeah, that was kind of the goal, and he pulled it off in 2 years' time. Like, that's nice.
Did you ever consider vocal tracks? Because I noticed that most, if not all, these tracks sound like they're purely instrumental. Was that everything that came to mind?
Yeah, but vocal tracks tend to also get some sort. Sometimes it gets too much attention, or it pulls too much of your attention towards it, and it might like kind of fill in with like the voiceovers of the pros shouting like nice or well done. So yeah, I'm not sure. We really wanted something that was like without voices. I really like the fact that it was just mostly electronic, and the voices are just samples that are typically for electronic music.
Killer. That's awesome stuff. I'm trying to go through all my notes because I have so much to ask about, which is really awesome.
I got another question. I know you guys have gone through a few of the members of your team, right? You mentioned you got Chris doing the voice for the character, right? And it seems like you guys have a lot of people that wear different hats, right? Like you guys mentioned the dude who's in charge of the replays, right? For a small development team, like how do you guys go about figuring out roles and figuring out like, all right, you're gonna wear this hat and then also this hat. You're gonna work on this thing and also this thing, right? Is that part of the hiring process? Is that just you guys naturally just having these different abilities where you're able to pitch it on these different levels?
Well, I think we started it was just me and Dirk. So like, well, really first it was me and then it was us. But then, yeah, we saw like, yeah, it evolved naturally, I would say. And then, yeah, the team grew bigger and bigger. And yeah.
A lot of us wear different hats, and I think people are doing where they have most of the fun. Some people even didn't come from gaming, like the awesome design you see and kind of progressive design you see in the menus, and it's from someone who's actually been designing a lot of completely different stuff, not in video games. And just the fact that this comes together, it always makes it more interesting in some ways, and that's why it's also feeling fresh. But
then also people are really very sort of senior, I was, and they are very self-going. So like, yeah, it was also everybody knows how to do most things almost.
Yeah, when we were looking for, like, for example, for a park designer, because I was doing a lot of the parks and environment myself, and I was like, no, we really need someone to make kick-ass parks. So I opened up like a position for level designer. And yeah, it didn't get a lot of, like, I got some feedback and there were some nice profiles, but not like the spark I needed. And I said to Chris, like, send that out again, like, let's just try it. And we got a message from Brandon, and he was like, yeah, I designed snow parks in real life, and I know something about game development, and I did some maps for snow like a couple of years back. And like, if I can learn it, and if you can teach me, I can make some maps. And so like, I spent some weeks with him, some days with him, and he was just starting to create parks, and he was having so much fun. Like, he told me, like, now I'm designing parks and I can try them immediately. It's awesome because you can actually mold your ramps and stuff in 3D. And yeah, it was a perfect match because, like, the park you're riding now, Invitational, yeah, that's his thing. Like, he got completely, we told him, like, go completely nuts in that specific area and do your thing. And it's an awesome park.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, that was my favorite story y'all told me about. Of course, being up on the mountain all the time, I know the park crew and all of their passions for creating and developing awesome parks. And it's really cool that you worked with somebody like that and were able to teach them some of the tricks when it comes to game design and make it work. Like, it's so cool to hear that. That's an awesome story.
Yeah, no, it's kind of also something that we were lacking in our video games. Like, I liked Steep and what they were trying to do, but the parks were never like real life parks. Like, it was awesome to cruise around and to have fun and just to race and stuff. But like, the parks, these are real parks. Like, these are made by a park designer, and you can feel it.
That's awesome.
You can feel it. I want you to know I feel that, and I appreciate that. As somebody who has always complained about that, I see it and I feel it, which is awesome.
that's also, it's kind of a risk because we didn't know our people are going to see it. Like also like when we're showing gameplay, we immediately are like, yeah, you can see, right, that this is more like some kind of blend between gameplay and realism and fun, and it's more of a realistic side. And when people are asking us the same thing as when Skate was being made, why are you making this while there's a Steep and Rise Republic, which are awesome games? Like, yeah, but for us it's completely different, and for a lot of people it won't be, but for the people that see it will see it immediately and they will love the game, and that's also why we made it. That was our initial plan. So yeah,
that's fantastic.
Well, here's the thing, everybody watching out there. I'm gonna run a block of Twitch ads. Remember, if you're subscribed here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames, you don't have to watch any Twitch ads. You can keep rocking with us and the developers of Shredders right now. If you're not subscribed, don't worry. You get to support us in a brand new way by watching these ads. And guess what? When you return, I want to hear your questions that we can ask this awesome team over here right now, which I see some in the chat. So queue them up. Get some questions that you would love to ask the team right now for Shredders. Blessing, take us away. What do you got for him?
I was gonna ask about post-launch, right? Like now that the game is out in people's hands, are you guys thinking ahead about updates? Are you thinking ahead about if you're gonna add more stuff to the game as the months go? And then also, do you guys have any vision for community input, community creation? You know, people being able to get their hands on the game in that way.
Community creation. Yeah, we have a tester. He already modded the game.
Oh wow!
With his own equipment and stuff.
Yeah, like future development, definitely. I think we have no other plans than to work on this for the next year. Like it's our focus, and it's going to keep being our focus, and especially multiplayer.
Yeah, that is yeah.
So we need a lot of stuff for multiplayer, and just to like push some fire into the community and especially into multiplayer, because the core is there, you're automatically online, but we're going to keep on growing the size of like how many people are in the same area. So because we didn't know with Game Pass we had like tens of thousands of users already, and so we didn't know what was going to happen. Like, will this blow up? Will our servers like fire up? But it's with PlayFab, so they know, they are experienced with this, so everything went well. So we can kindly like we can slowly scale up.
And we as a team, we just play, and we see a lot of like multiplayer modes that we could easily make, sort of. Sweet. That would be really awesome to have. That is sort of what we feel is missing from it. So we would love to improve that.
Yeah, we had way more ideas for multiplayer, that's for sure. And then just because of timing, because this game needed to be released like now, because we have like the gear is seasonal, right? So if we didn't make it in this season, we would have to rescan everything. So we made sure all the core features were right, and we're like, yeah, we can still like add some cool features, and we'll see how well the game is received and add more to it. But yeah, definitely a lot of plans. And when it comes down to like modding and stuff, yeah, obviously there will be modding going on, but like one of the things we really wanted to have in there and in the future release is like, just if you're in a private session with other people, like let's place a kicker somewhere. Because if you're a snowboarder, like, you know, one day out of your week, you're going uphill, you're taking your shovel, and you're making a kicker into fresh snow, and you want to translate that to this game. And I really want to have that in like placing kickers and placing some rails wherever you want to, and that's probably one of the features I really wanted in an easy way.
Epic. Yes, I love that. That's super rad. Okay. Let's get some questions coming in right now. We got one from Buttered Biscuit. He wants to know, for the devs, what was something that is incredibly challenging about development that may seem simple on the surface? For example, I was shocked to learn that recently how difficult it would be to make characters interact with doors correctly. For you guys making a snowboard game, a lot of physics going involved. What were some of those, you know, that you thought were simple but turned out to be really a lot?
Yeah, well, yeah, the physics, yeah, but yeah, like the riding, just turning and going straight, which seems like, how hard. It seems very simple, but you'd be surprised to think how much goes into making that, because we choose a model that is very free, so you can sort of react to in any situation, sort of any physical context, and making animations and physics work together there, that was a big challenge. And it looks sort of simple, but yeah, super challenging.
Yeah, if you see AAA like companies failing, you know it's difficult. So, yeah, it's just a very difficult thing, and Marcus spent like almost 7 years now on the tech. Into it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Initial physics takes that were sort of the core physics in a long time. Yeah. But then getting the animations to match that, and it took a long time, but I think also like we're only scratching the surface of what we can do with it in this. So hopefully it will be improved as well as we continue development. So.
Yeah. And then purely in graphics and level design, I think one of the most challenging things was just getting that whole mountain range in memory of like for example an Xbox that has like an Xbox Series S has like 10 gigabytes of RAM, which isn't super like heavy, but you need to like if you take the drone you can just fly through the whole landscape and it'll load in additionally, and it will just having like a seamless mountain with that amount of detail. Just it's also a lot of work. Even like making the stickers blend in with the terrain, a lot of small things, and having like for example the terrain itself, and also we have 10 full-time people or something like close to that. So there's a lot of stuff that's being generated procedurally. Like if you look at for example snow, like deep powder, and you see all the details in it, it's all generated procedurally through shaders, and so there's some tech in this game and that isn't super easy to do.
The snow is challenging, so like you can't get away with a lot of things. You can't hide with just more noise. So it's
snow is one of the more difficult things to run there. Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going right now. Of course, we have the question that has to be asked. New gear, please. What will it be like? Of course, as you talk about the future and doing more stuff. What's that like working with the brands? Are they now excited with what you've created? Are they like, hey, let's run this back? Do you have to go talk to them and say, you know, what more can we add? What about adding new gear?
Hopefully. That's like we didn't right now. We just did it as kind of a service for all the pros because they are sponsored by those. So we were like, okay, if you're in the game, let's get you like decent mics and let's get your clothes in and let's scan those clothes, and hopefully you'll get more views on Instagram and whatever. We also wanted to push the pros in some way. Like there's almost like close to zero commercial connection there, which people might expect, but we did it kind of different, and maybe it's also why they trusted us or why we have all these brands. But now I for sure some of these brands have been really helpful and really believe in this project. So there might be more talks going on. Currently, it's kind of halt because we really want to break in April. But we've been working nonstop so to release this, and after that, we'll probably talk to brands again and see what we can do and add more content. It's definitely on the list.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Coming in from Raleigh wants to know, will there be an update for friends to be visible in your own replays? Of course, when you're playing with friends and stuff, you kick it to the replay, it's just yourself there. We did see, though, the drone cam recording everybody. What's that? How difficult would that be to add into the replay system?
I'm looking at the replay, guys. I know how much space, like how much memory it takes to like just one replay already takes a lot of memory, and so you really have to specify which objects to record, because we already have the Ski-Doo in there, we have the winches in there, which was also like something that wasn't happening before. So it's possible. Like, is it high prior? It's probably on our list.
I think we discussed it. I think we said no at that time.
It's mainly file size and memory, and then how long you can record stuff. But obviously, if we have possibilities and the headroom to do this, it will be cool. Like, that's why we added the drone, and you can hide the UI of the drone, because someone could actually follow you and film like a whole bunch of friends at the same time. But when we're doing recording, just to make sure it's exactly the same as you were playing it, because a lot of it's simulated, we are really recording every bone in the rider's like posture, so you will have exactly the same replay, and that's why it takes so much like data. So we could might yeah.
That's rad. Okay, very cool to know. Very cool to hear. Another question coming in right now from Jarin. He wants to know, I'm not sure if it's been said, what engine are they using? They did a beautiful job with the snow. What does that look like tech-wise in the background?
Yeah, it's a Unity with a custom, like with custom shaders and slightly custom render pipeline, but that's limited, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great working with them. Yeah,
really cool.
I also know the guy who made Unity, like the engine personally, so he would slap me if I was using something different. I'm kidding. I would be. He would say like, yeah, do whatever. No, that's a joke. No, it's been great working with it because it's so open. Yeah, and we just use a lot of custom shading. We had one Felix Weston, who's a guy who helped us with a lot of the shading. Like you see, like the fog, the volumetric fog you see in the background, and some of the like optimizations on the snow itself. Yeah, it's also a Swedish guy. So yeah, it's just custom shading. You can go far with that.
Wow, really cool to know. That's great. Well, Twitch chat, remember you can ask any questions you like. We'll start to slow it down right now. Guys, other question, how cool is it to see when you work with Xbox, you talk about it, right? We're talking PC, console, and cloud. Is that cool to see your game on the cloud being able to be played anywhere?
It's scary. Yeah, it's fun, but yeah, do they all have like a good controller? Yeah, it's really cool that like we didn't want to have any limitations of people playing it, but obviously this is it's a demanding game in terms of like CPU and GPU. So having cloud makes it accessible for people with an Xbox One, and so we love that because we never wanted to exclude people, but we also wanted a game that was technically advanced enough that it kind of sets a new barrier in terms of even physics and stuff and graphics and the detail we wanted. And for us, like Series was a perfect platform to work on.
A cool one here coming in because of course we get to see it all. What were some of the mountain inspirations? You talk about seeing the movies, you've seen some of the events, but like you guys out there across the pond from us here in the States, what are some of the Western mountains that maybe you took influence from, whether that be Whistler, maybe some Tahoe spots, some Colorado and Utah spots? Like, is there any things that you're like, oh man, these were my major inspirations for here?
Yeah, Baldface, Scary Cherry is probably is on the mountain. Like, it's not the same thing, of course. We didn't scan it in, but yeah, it's you know, like some of the parts of the Alps and are actually in there because I went snowboarding there a lot. So like the Frozen Wood, the actual resort and the buildings you see in wood, it's inspired by a place called Avoria, Port du Soleil. It's like a real area, and they all have like all the apartments are in wood and they look like that in real life. And yeah, I just probably wanted to bring something that was like that inspired me. I just wanted to write in the things I'm used to. But yeah, like most of these events, I guess. Yeah, it's just inspired by so many places and so many mountains.
Will we see a physical version, and will you make like the cool trail map as the collectible? Will you make a cool trail map for me as the collectible so I can put it up on the wall like all snowboarders and skiers have?
That's a good question. We haven't thought about that.
Put that in the maybe section. I like that.
Our team is listening. It's now on our to-do board, and maybe
Mike is creating more work.
You want a little Scotty statue?
I definitely want a mini Scotty. So Chris, if you hear me, get the mini Scotty out. I'm looking for it. It's right. You guys are the best. That's so cool. Well, guys, I know it's getting late for all of you. You've been celebrating all day long. The release is now live today. You can go out there and shred the gnar with all of your friends. Go go out and find Narnia, as I've been saying out on Twitter. Go play Shredders right now. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's over on Steam as well. You can jump in, support this awesome dev team, and most importantly, go shred and have fun with your friends. It's multiplayer's live. It's a great time. Blessing, have you been having fun?
I've been having a fantastic time. I'm not gonna lie, I've just been on the single player mode, going through the missions, and I finally, like right now, I'm doing through the loops with Scotty, which is a fantastic mission. And then after this, I think I'm gonna get the snowmobile, and so I'm having a fantastic time right now.
That's awesome, Bless. I'm so glad. And of course, Dirk, Marcus, and the whole team over there. First off, thank you for joining me and Blessing and Barrett and the Kinda Funny crew today. It really means the world to me to be able to talk to you guys, pick your brain, and celebrate the game. And most importantly, celebrate the game over here, having fun with all of you. Any final words from the team over there that you want to tell the audience here with us?
Just go shred the slugs.
Yeah.
That's awesome, guys. Congratulations to each and every one of you. You created something really, really rad, and I'm so happy to play it and share it with everyone. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
That's awesome. Barrett, will you take us to standby mode? We'll say goodbye, and we'll keep it moving.